Alright, so this is Edward Norton's second movie as a director and first one in 20 years. It's also his very first writing credit, and he wrote the screenplay based on a novel. And you know, I've been a fan of his for a long time, mainly as an actor though. So I was curious to see what kind of talent he had as a writer and director. And turns out that, well, I'd say he's okay. He has potential, but I wouldn't say he nailed this one. It's not perfect. Because it had a few issues and I don't think it's a great movie, but at the same time, it's not bad either, and I enjoyed it for the most part, and nothing was outright awful either. And the story here follows a private investigator with Tourette's back in the 50s, who's also played by Norton himself, and in general the movie is a bit of a detective noir. However, and this is the first issue I had with it, it doesn't feel like that at first. Because the first 30 minutes or so is basically just set up for the rest of the movie. And it didn't feel like a detective noir to me pretty much at all, it felt more like a gangster movie. But once that part is done, it switches tones and settles into this more noir-y tone. And after that it is fairly consistent and contains all the tropes you'd expect to. But yeah, in my opinion that beginning it was a little bit clumsy and awkward. And the tone just wasn't consistent with the rest of the movie either, I felt like. But as I said, after that it settles into it a bit more and has all the elements you'd want. Things like politics, corruption, intrigue, a smooth jazzy score, smoky bars, and a subplot involving a woman, of course. And the general plot here follows this mystery the main guy is trying to solve. Basically the thing that is set up in the first 30 minutes, and it's a well-structured mystery too. There are quite a few moving parts in this, and in the end it ties it all together and it makes sense. And I will say that there were even a few moments that I thought were pretty clever. A couple of times it actually impressed me. Speaking of which, there are a couple of other scenes too. Scenes where the actors really impressed me and got a chance to shine. Individual scenes with Willem Dafoe, Alec Baldwin and Michael Caine that were really great. And the writing in those were some of the best in the entire movie. But the performances elevated them even further and I liked those parts a lot. Now when it comes to the more technical aspects of the movie, I thought it was fine too. It looked good, the direction and editing worked well enough, and nothing bothered me too much. But with that being said, I don't think this one did anything all that exceptional or creative either. Really the only thing that stood out were a couple of shots here and there where a character is knocked out. And you see it from the point of view of the character and the camera kinda sways around. Which honestly felt like it was inspired by a video game cutscene or something. And I mean, not in a bad way, I didn't mind it, I thought it was something a bit different. But yeah, that was pretty much the only creative decision here that felt kinda fresh. And beyond that, I feel like Norton played it kinda safe, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But it did make it feel like I'd seen this movie before. And I would have liked to have seen something a bit more innovative, I guess. But yeah, overall, I thought it was a perfectly decent and watchable movie. However, would I recommend it? Why not, but I don't think it's a must-see or anything. But if it sounds interesting, maybe give it a shot, or don't. After all, I'm not your dad. But hey, what are your thoughts on this? Have you seen it? Did you like it? Let me know. And if you enjoyed the video, maybe give it a thumbs up or sub to the channel, because that would be fantastic. And if you'd like, you can also support me on Patreon or PayPal through the links in the description. And as always, I appreciate you and thanks for watching.